best of their ability that this is the real story. So it was October 1959. John Allen Kuchar Zegras, who was 36, entered Japan with his Korean wife. 3 months later, he's arrested for identity fraud by Marunouchi Police, which is a district in Tokyo. He tried to cash a 200,000 yen check and a $140 traveler's check at the Japanese office of Chase Manhattan Bank and a 100,000 yen check at the Japanese office of Bank of Korea. So the case was investigated by Atsuyuki Sasa of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, and he later wrote about Zegras in his memoirs, apparently. His passport did contain stamps of Japanese embassies in different East Asian countries, but the passport was determined to be fake. Also, a visa was issued by the Japanese embassy in Taipei, which is problematic since his passport was fake. But according to records, he claimed he was born in the US. He claimed he moved to the UK and then to Czechoslovakia and Germany, where he attended high school. And he said during World War II, he was a pilot in the Royal Air Force in the UK and was captured by Germans. And after the war, he lived in Latin America somehow. And later, he became a spy for the Americans in South Korea, where he served as a pilot in Thailand and Vietnam. And then he was assigned to the United Arab Republic, apparently. And then he arrived in Japan for a secret mission, which included recruiting Japanese military volunteers for the United Arab Republic. And after Japan contacted all these countries, it was determined his story was completely fake and the seals in his passport were proven to be counterfeit.
Okay, but if he was a spy, would they really admit he was a spy?
Right, that's true for any of these countries.
Right, no one's gonna claim him. He got caught. Sorry, we're cutting our losses here.
Right. Or was he just a con man?
Very possible. It was probably not hard to. It's so much harder then to verify anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, how did Japan contact all these countries?
When was I guess phone? I was gonna
Yeah.
say the telegraph, but I think that's pretty old.
Yeah, wait, when was the phone? I don't know.
I think they had phones in the early,
Oh, okay.
1900s.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Okay, good. Yeah, they called up someone, I guess, in the country. I don't know who you called. But they determined it was all fake. So on August 10th, 1960, he was sentenced to 1 year in jail in Japan, which after the announcement, he did try to commit suicide by cutting his veins with a piece of glass that he had secretly brought to the court with him.
Over 1 year in jail?
Yeah. Well, that is interesting because maybe he is a spy then, because...
Right, and he needed to abort mission.
Right. Didn't they have like cyanide in their teeth or something?
I thought so, but
Or
is
is
that
that
from
like...
James Bond and made up? Because
Right,
I know that's a thing in James Bond.
Or was that like more like later than this? I don't know.
Oh, that's possible too.
But that's true. Why would he try to commit suicide just for 1 year in jail?
Right, you
He
can
got
go
caught.
back and do it again somewhere else, realistically.
Yeah,
You can
he
get out of
could-
the country.
Right, he could very easily do that. But yeah, I don't know. He was released after a year and he was deported from Japan to Hong Kong, which is where he was recorded to enter Japan from. So he didn't stay
Oh.
in Japan forever, like the other stories say. And his wife was deported to South Korea.
I just want to know why you would go through all of that trouble. Why not
Yeah.
just make a real country's fake passport?
That's true too. Yeah, why is it gotta be a totally made up
Right.
language? And yeah,
You're a lot more suspicious when it's all made up. If he's a
right.
con man, he sucks. Although I guess it did work. Stop trying to go to Japan.
Right, they'll catch you. Go somewhere else.
Anywhere else.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm almost like maybe he is a spy.
I think he could
But
be, but also
why did he go with his wife? Or he has a
maybe that
partner,
was
I
his
guess. But
partner.
yeah.
And also, they can make fake documentation, but I guess then that puts a target on their back, right? If they have real passports with fake people on them,
Wow.
then if they get caught doing something, it points right back to the country of the passport, I guess. Like, you're like claiming him as one of your own.
But he could just say, I'm gonna pretend I'm from the US and make his passport himself, or
Yeah,
right? Like,
make one that's a real country. I don't know. I cannot figure out why he would go through all
right.
of that trouble unless he's just a fucking weirdo. Because I guess there are people out there like that, but
Yeah, he could just be weird. I mean, apparently he was 36 too, so like, did he do this elsewhere and then was like, oh, Japan seems like the next best place to go or something? Or
yeah. And what? I think he's stupid for trying to get fake money because that,
yeah,
like, he got in. It's not that that was the problem, it was that he
right.
tried to scam the bank.
A lot of money too. Not a lot, I guess, but I guess back then, right, it would
Right,
be
I
a
was
lot.
just wondering how much, like, what's the current conversion rate?
Oh, yeah, let me look that up.
In my mind, it has to be a lot because wasn't their economy trashed?
Yeah, it'd be like 1.2 million yen right now. So, how many dollars is that? It'd be almost $9,000, I guess.
Assuming that in 1959 the conversion rate was the same, right? Because doesn't that change?
Right, that's true too. Because when I went to Japan, I mean, that was only 5 years ago, it was almost 100 yen to a dollar, so it was almost exactly. But now this is like worse than that.
Oh God.
'Cause if it was to a dollar, it'd be almost $12,000, but instead it's almost $9,000, so that's not good.
No.
Um, well, that was just from the one bank, and then you try to do 100,000 yen from the other bank, and then you also try to do $141, so I guess we could do that. Well, $140 in 1959 is equivalent to almost $1,500 today.
Oh.
But money was more valuable back then too.
Right.
Like you could buy so much more with $1,500 back then than now.
Right. Oh my gosh. So it's probably like
Right?
a lot. Even $9,000 is a lot of money to try to steal.
Right. I mean, total it was like nine plus half of nine would be like 15. It'd be like $15,000 he was trying to steal.
Dumb. He's dumb.
Yeah, because it seems like he tried to do it quickly too.
Amateur.
Because, yeah, he was there for 3 months. Although, I don't know. I wonder how long the visa was, because Japanese visa right now, you can only stay there 3 months if you don't have a student or a work visa.
Oh,
So
well.
I don't know how long he was allowed to stay, but he was there for 3 months before he tried to take all this money.
He probably did get away with this in another country.
Yeah.
How did that work back then? Because it wasn't electronic. Like, how long did you have before they realized it was fake? Like, even
Uh,
now, you can bounce a check so easily if you want to. But back then, it
right.
was probably like weeks before they actually would get paid from it.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I don't know the process of that,
I don't either, but I
obviously.
don't like it. It was so easy to be a scammer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It could be easy now. I'm not, probably not
Yeah,
as
I
easy, I
guess I
guess.
don't know, but I would think that you'll get it'll become apparent quicker than it would have then.
Yeah. Right. I think it would be more apparent. But also there's so much to, I mean, think of the phone scammers. You just call old people and they'll give you money and
Yeah.
no one's catching them.
No, I think phone scams and email scams are
Oh
the
yeah.
biggest, like, nuisance to society. Because it's all old people. And Mark got phone scammed. Well,
Wait, what?
Mark, I came home one day.
Got?
Kind of. I came home one day and he's on the phone telling a survey person all this information. And I'm like, hang up right now. Who are you talking to? And he's like, I'm just doing a Gallup survey. And I'm like, why are you telling them anything? Like, why would you do that? And then like a week later, they called his parents and had like a deep fake of his voice, and he was in jail because he got in a car accident or something. Like, it was this whole thing, and they wanted his parents to wire them $90,000, and his dad was buying plane tickets to come down here to do it in person and not wire it. But like, I called Mark while he was at work, and because I was like, oh, he must have been like taking like a bank run or like picking something up during the workday because he was supposed to be working. I was like, what if they don't know he's not coming back? Because he supposedly had an expired license and got into an accident, and so they took him to jail and his nose was broken. Like, they had this whole elaborate story. They had his voice on the other end talking to his dad briefly, and then the guy was the lawyer. They had multiple calls. So I call his work to be like, hey, just so you know, Mark's not coming back. Like, you're gonna have to figure it out. It was right when Gus is open too, so there's literally no one. So I was like, oh, this is bad. And then I said, can I talk to like whoever is in charge? And Mark, they hand the phone to Mark, and I'm like, what? You said, you're not dead? You're not in jail right now? And he thought I was just hassling him about not responding to my text messages, so he was all mad at me. Like, he thought I was so psycho that like I was calling him at work because he was ignoring my texts. And I'm like, no, literally your dad just got scammed and sent me into an absolute like mental breakdown. And then I had to call back and be like, yeah, he's actually at work right now. He is not in jail. And then his dad's like, oh, so the guy who wanted me to wire him $90,000 is a scammer? Okay, that makes sense.
Right, yeah, that should be a sign.
But
why would you pay money when he's in jail? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Bail or something?
I guess, but I don't think they just call you up.
Well, how would his dad know what happens when someone goes to jail? Like, it was just... And then they get you with that, like, the terror of, oh, his nose might be broken, he's hurt, and he's just sitting in jail. Like, you need to get him out of there and get him to the hospital.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, this is definitely why you should never talk to anyone that you don't know.
I know,
and I was like, just take your voice.
You dummy. Why were you telling anyone anything? They don't make them pay for our data, god damn it.
Yeah, I don't think I would take money for that though still, if they could just say anything they wanted with my voice.
No, very scary.
Oh, I guess we're giving our voice though on a podcast.
Yeah.
I guess anyone could download that, right?
Yeah, that's true. Never thought
Our
of that.
voice is already out there. Oh no.
Yeah,
podcast over.
This will be our final episode. Please don't create a voice scam.
I don't think we're
voices.
that important, I guess.
No one gives a shit.
Yeah, I think it should be a common practice that if you get a call like that, you call a secondary number. Like where that person is or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know. I hate phone scammers. I hate all scammers. Why are you scamming?
Yeah. At least the email one's more obvious typically.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. Can't they do a better job?
I don't think I want them to do that.
I've never